This video is about mathematical operators. Mathematical operators. Now the good thing is about mathematical operators is that you've been using them since you were little, so there's like plus, minus, and so on. So let's get into mathematical operators. First, we'll go to GCSE CS, and when we get there, there will be this area contact/more, and we click on code editor. And we'll just drag in the area, make it a bit smaller for coding, and delete these random comments. Okay, so mathematical operators. Let's say I've got a number. Okay, so I've made a variable called a number, and my number is going to be 5. And I'll make a variable called another number, and I'm going to set that to 3. And I want to perform a calculation, so I'll make a variable called calc because I want to perform a calculation, and it's going to be a number. Highlight that, Control C on the keyboard, Control V, spacebar. I'm going to do an add, which is the add symbol on the keyboard, spacebar, highlight this variable on line 3, Control C, Control V. And there we go. I've got 1, 2, 3 variables, and I want to display using the print function the string the answer is, and then calc, comma calc. And there we go. So we bump into our first mathematical operator, which is the plus symbol here. Well, 5 plus 3 is 8, so hopefully when I run this, I get the output 8. Yeah, the answer is 8. Good. So that's our first mathematical operators. The minus sign, you can swap that out, substitute that for minus. So delete that, put the minus sign, run it again. Well, 5 minus 3 hopefully should give us 2. The answer is 2. We can multiply them. Now the symbol for multiplication is actually a star, which is on the number 8, above the number 8, or the number 8 with shift key. So that's the star. So 5 times 3 hopefully is 15. So let's run that. There we go. The answer is 15. And we will go and do this one, which you may not have seen before. So it's actually star, star. Okay. Have a guess what it is. I'll run it. The answer is 125. Well, what is star, star? Star, star is to the power of. So we've taken 5 and we've multiplied it to the power of 3. So it's 5 to the power of 3, which is 5 times 5, which is 25, and then 25 times 5, which is 125. The next one is backslash, which hopefully is division. So 5 divided by 3 gives us 1.6 recurring. Okay. But what if I put 2 slashes? Let me run that. And it gives me the answer as 1. So what does 2 backslashes do that differently from 1? Well, I'll go back to 1 backslash. Here's what's happened. We've taken an integer, which is a whole number. A whole number is a number that does not have a decimal. It's just a number on its own, no decimal. We've taken a whole number and we divide it by a whole number, and we get an answer which is not a whole number. Why? Because it has a decimal. Okay, so what do we call a number with a decimal? It's not called a whole number. No, it's called a float. Okay, so we've got a float. But if I add another slash or another division sign, my answer is now a whole number. So the difference between 1 slash and 2 is 1 slash gives me the answer as a float with a decimal, and 2 slashes gives me the answer as a integer, which is a whole number. Okay, so these 2 slashes are called integer division. All right, integer division. The last one I'll introduce you, the last mathematical operator, is this percentage sign. Okay, so I'm going to run this. So it's going to go 5 percentage sign 3. Run that. What's the answer? 2. Okay, so I don't know, that's a bit strange. Let's change that to 10. 10 percentage sign 3, and the answer is 1. So what's happening? The answer is very simple. If I put that back to 5, okay, so the first number is 5. This percentage sign is called mod or modulus. And what I'm doing here is 5 mod 3, okay? And what's happening is it's working out how many times I can get 3 into 5. Well, I can only go once. If I go again, it doesn't fit. So I can only get 1 3 into 5. All right, only 1 3 will fit into 5. But that leaves me with something left over. It leaves me with 2 left over. And that is that's what it's giving. Modding something doesn't give you the answer, doesn't give you the result. No, it gives you the remainder. The remainder is 2. So this time if I do 10 mod 3, first of all you have to work out, well, how many times does 3 go into 10? Well, 1 3 is 3, a second 3 is 6, a third 3 is 9, with a remainder 1. So hopefully 10 mod 3 should be equal to 1. And there we go. Yeah, 10 mod 3 is equal to 1. So we've covered plus, minus, multiplication to the power of, and mod and integer division. And those are our mathematical operators. One of the main uses of maths and mathematical operators is in games. So here's a list of the best-selling video games, and you can see we've got things like Minecraft, Tetris, Wii Sports, but I'm going to go with Super Mario, and there's a picture here of Super Mario. Oh, there's a picture here of Super Mario, and in this picture you can see you've got points, you've got golden coins that you pick up during the game, the worlds keep changing or incrementing, going up, and time goes down. And here you can see he's getting 100 points because he's nailing some sort of mushroom guy. Okay, so lots of numbers to deal with. So let's code a little bit of the Mario game. Let's talk about coins and how much a coin is worth and how many points you get overall. So let's say a coin value is worth 100. Okay, you get 100 points for a coin. The coin value is worth 100 points. And through the game you have to collect coins. So coins collected is, I don't know, let's say at the end of the level I've collected 23 coins. So now I need to do a bit of maths. I need to use a mathematical operator to find out, well, how much is that worth? So I will call it coin points equals, I'm going to highlight coin value, Control C, paste that here, highlight coins collected and paste that there, put a space bar. So what's the maths? Well, the maths is you multiply them. You don't add them, you multiply them. Okay, so to work out how many points, it's the value of the coin, which is 100, each coin is worth 100, multiplied by how many I collected. And then I want to print it, display it to the screen at the end of the level. So it can say coin points equals, and then I need this variable which holds the answer. Put a comma, drop in the variable, and then run that. And there we go. So if I collected 23 coins and each coin is worth 100, that's 23 times 100. 23 times 100 is dropped into this variable called coin points, and then I display whatever's in coin points, which is 2,300. Okay, maybe on a special level they're not worth 100, maybe they're worth 200, and because it's a special level you only collected, I don't know, 17. And then you run the code and it tells you, well done, overall your points that you've collected in terms of coins is 3,400. So we've coded a tiny part, if you like, of a Mario game, which is converting the coins that you've collected into points. Okay, have a go at this. So in Mario, jumping on and squashing bad guys gets you points, all right? You run along, you jump on a bad guy, you squash him, and you get points, all right? So what I'd like you to do is overall create some code that adds up all the points you get from squashing bad guys and an end of level boss. So here we go. Number one, create a variable that stores 23, where 23 is the number of squashed regular bad guys, all right? So you played a whole level and you've squashed 23 guys, all right? Number two, create a variable that stores 100, which is the value or the number of points you get of squashing one regular bad guy, right? One regular bad guy gets you 100 points. Number three, create a variable that stores 3000. What's that? Well, it's the value of squashing an end of level boss, right? So you know, with some of these games, at the end of the level, you have to like go up against one big guy, and if you get past him, then you get more points, right? So you get 3000 points for squashing the end of level boss. Number four, create a variable that calculates regular bad guy points. Okay, so you might nick the idea from the coins example. Okay. Number five, create a variable that calculates regular bad guy points plus the end of level boss points. All right, so this variable is adding up how many points I get overall for squashing all these bad guys and squashing the end of level boss. Number six, display the total regular bad guy points. All right, so this is where the level's finished and it says, oh, well done, here's how many points you got for squashing regular bad guys. Number seven, display the total end of level boss points. Well, there's only one end of level boss, so you don't really need to calculate it. You can just nick it from wherever you do in line 3, okay? So display how many points you got for getting past the end of level boss. And then finally, number 8, display the total of regular bad guy points and the end of level boss. So it will just say, this is how many points you got overall at the end of the level, okay? Have a go at that, nick some of the ideas from the coins. If you didn't get the coins, go back and watch it again. And I'll give you the solution in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here's the solution. So in line 1, I've got a variable called regular bad guy value. And every regular bad guy is worth 100 points. In line 2, I've got a variable called bad guy squashed. So at the end of a level, maybe I've squashed 23 bad guys. In line 3, I've got a variable that stores how many points I get for an end of level boss, yeah, the big guy at the end that I have to get past to beat the level. Line 5 is a variable that does a calculation. What does it do? Well, it takes the value of a regular bad guy, which is 100, and it multiplies by how many I've squashed. So in this case, it'd be 100 times 23, and that answer will sit in regular bad guy points, right? 100 times 23. Line 6 now, I've got another variable which takes how many points I got for squishing regular bad guys and how many points I will get for squishing or getting past the end of level boss, right? So it adds those two together, which is the total amount of points for beating the whole level, and it drops it into a variable called end level points, okay? If you've coded it with slightly different names, that's fine. What's really important are these two lines to do the calculation properly. Line 8, 9, and 10 are just displaying all the points back like you would get at the end of a level of a particular game. All right. So line 8 says the number of regular bad guy points you got is, well, the answer to that calculation on line 5. Line 9 says, well, what on the boss bad guy points you got? Well, that's just 3000. So we can take that straight from the line 3 variable. And finally, line 10 displays the total points, which is or the maths is already done in line 6. So let's run that, just make sure it works. And there we go. So at the end of the level, I got 2,300 points for squishing 23 regular bad guys. I got 3,000 points for getting past or squishing the boss, the end of level boss, and add those two together, and I got 5,300 points for beating the whole level. And that's the code. So for example, if I just change squash to, let's say I had a really good game and I squashed everybody and there's actually 50 guys, and you run that again, There we go. We can see my points have increased massively. And that is the code for a tiny piece of a Mario game or any other platform game that involves accumulating points as you get past bad guys.